half of them down that way.
What's a realistic number that you think you can get out of Georgia and maybe even Florida on an
Yeah.
annual basis?
Well, I've always recruited Orlando down to West Palm, so I feel like we can have an opportunity to try to get 2 or 3 kids out of there every year, and hopefully try to get 2 or 3 kids out of Georgia every year. We do want to be a team that recruits regionally where we're at, but also want to use our connections in other areas.
Kind of impressions have you had with your special teams? What do you know about it?
Yeah, well, we can't carry them out and work them out or anything, right? We can meet with them, that type of stuff. So I talked to Connor Limpert that was here, and he gave me some insight. But I've had a chance to meet with them all and talk to them, and it's been really it's been insightful. But as far as the talent and stuff, I just don't know because I haven't been on the field with them. I know that the Loy kid did punt at Vandy. When I was at Georgia, punted against him. He punted against us there. And I know he punted here last year. I know Reed Bauer started him maybe 2 years ago. This Jordan Silver started last year at snapper. So those things are all positive. So we'll go in the spring and kind of work and see who comes out on top. What else we might need to bring in and whatnot. We're actively still recruiting some guys, trying to get them there. Of who? Really good. I've just met him, talked to him over the telephone. But he kind of reached out to me and said, "Hey, Coach, just want to introduce myself. New coach here." And he said, "I heard some great things about you." And so we got to talking. He introduced himself, and so I asked him. I said, "Well, kind of tell me about our current players. What's your thoughts on them?" So I thought it was really insightful. Seemed like a great kid. Thank you. It's been good. It really has. When I coached at Auburn, there were 4 or 5 coaches on the staff that at one time either coached at Arkansas or lived here, and they all really always spoke very well of the area. So I'd been in here and played probably 4 or 5 times previously, and I thought the fan base was really good on game day, but I didn't know much about the area. So it was really good getting out and seeing things. A little bit of time I've had, and it's really it seemed like an awesome area to live. Yeah. So I think, 3 years ago they added the 10th coach, and a school could either use that to.
Well, hello. It's our Thursday edition here on the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio on KDSJ 479. And we got a special lineup, but we let you hear coming in audio. Like I said, we give you bits and pieces, trying to just put things together for a lot of you hog crazed fans, but just want to know what's going on the Hill with any of the coaches, players, what are some new football philosophies, basketball, just whatever. We try to fill in the gap for you. And we came in with Scott Fountain, special teams coach here at the University of Arkansas, came over with Sam Pittman from the University of Georgia. And I'm going to tell you, Demetrius, the Scott Fountain effect, and we like to do this Hog Guy segment each and every day. Scott's had a real big imprint. Coach Pittman mentioned that they'd have a presence in Florida. Scott Fountain is one of the chief head guys in that process getting done. And I'm telling you, with things that are moving on, we're going to have a guy on today, by the way, that has direct connection with the relationship being built to Arkansas with Scott Fountain involved. Talk about just this hunger that these men and the way that they continue to get this brand out here at the university.
Yeah, I think it's just essential that they do brand the university the way they are to have long-term success. I think when you look at Sam Pittman, he didn't come here to lose. He talks about how this is the place he want to be. This school is something special to him. He left a great program to come to Arkansas. So again, these coaches didn't come here to be mediocre coaches. So I think they're only distributing the type of work that they plan to equate to wins.
We talked prior to coming on the show about just the positions and the way that this program is starting to recruit at such an alarming positive rate. When I say alarming, I don't mean at a negative, but I mean something that hadn't been seen. You can see the athletes at every position. Demetrius, you mentioned something that stuck with me in the fact that it's just plain to see the kids are bigger, stronger, and faster, and you can kind of see that with some of the job that Chad Morris had been able to do, and he has to have some credit. I know wins, losses maybe didn't match up, but for some of the athletes and the ability to change the look for this football program, the way Chad has, and leave a foundation, something you can build on going forward. I think, he has to have credit for that. But Pittman and those guys have taken this to they're taking it to a different level.
I think Sam Pittman has to do that again. Like I said just previously, these guys didn't come here to be mediocre. And when you look at the SEC, there's a lot of coaches that know what they're doing here now. So there's not a lot of room for error. These guys are longevity. A lot of these coaches have studied under Nick Saban, so they have that. They come from that Saban tree, and you know what type of coaches you get with them. Guys that know how to recruit, guys that know how to coach football, guys that know how to really prepare their players to get ready for football games. You have a lot of national championship coaches, whether they played in the national championship game or actually won the national championship. So again, there's a lot of experience. So I think the Jimmies and the Joes are really what's going to separate these coaches when you look at everybody being on par level when it comes to ability to coach. Then it's going to boil down to who has the best players and can be coached. So again, these guys have to do an excellent job at recruiting right now.
And when you talk to some of these kids, I think the thing that sticks out is the relationship that these guys are able to build, the genuineness, just the realness, and these kids believe that these coaches aren't only builders of relationships, but that's going to be able to translate onto the field, and that a lot of these kids call them football coaches first before recruiters, and that's something that you always want to have, a prospective recruit talk about, and I do think if they can have some success here in the 20 season, I do think that 21 class is going to be one we talk about, but I really have a feeling in this 22 group, that following year 2, they could sign a class and get some real big-time momentum going because we've had a lot of those kids on, Demetrius, and the vibe's pretty good when you talk to those young men.
So Pat, you said something key. You said if they have success going forward, that will be they have a good chance of turning this tree. What is success? We keep hollering bowl game. Yeah, we want guys to go bowling, and yeah, I know you said they need to win a minimum of 5, but realistically, what is success going forward in year 1 for Sam Pittman?
5 wins, 5 and 7. If you can get to 6 and 6, I think you really exceeded in year 1, but I think 5 wins is doable simply because I think there's going to be a different type of energy and a different type of aggression put forth in this program. But let's get our lineup set up as when we get ready to go here on the Hog Eye segment, we're going to head, and our first guest is Will Campbell, the nation's number 1 or 3rd rated offensive tackle in the 2022 class. He's the top offensive lineman in the state of Louisiana. He's out of Monroe, Louisiana, Neville High School. He'll be joining us here at the 1:15 hour, and then we'll make our way to Edgewater High School. Tommi Hill Jr. out of Orlando, Florida, came out with his top 6, and Arkansas made that list. We'll talk to Tommi and find out just what all went into him coming up with the top 6, and then we're going to go back to the boot state and look for another boot hog possibility when we make our way to Lafayette, Louisiana, St. Thomas More High School to talk to one of the nation's elite 2022 quarterback prospects, and Walker Howard. We'll find out what Walker has to say about his relationship with Coach Sam Pittman and Kendall Browse, how that's starting to build. He's got some ties to another SEC school. We'll see if that's going to be pressure. We'll find out all that here coming up, but let's take a break and let's get it rolling. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a minute.
Yeah, you need to do that because you're playing against that more and more. So what I mean by that is just teams are being more detailed, more in depth, but haven't got focus on that. I know our time at my 3 years at Georgia. We did a little composite there where at the end of the year we would had all 6 units together and kind of see where we stood. And we were one of my years there, then we jumped to 8, and then this year we're back at 3. And I think that had a lot to do with having a guy focus on it. Yeah, I do. I really do, and I think it goes back to the head coach. What does he envision? What's the importance he places on it? And me and Coach Pittman, got to be pretty close. We were neighbors actually, but we worked together a lot with field goal. He was, in charge of the big guys up front, but schematic-wise, and we're coming up with our fakes for the games. We spent a lot of time together on that, and so I think he realized the importance of that. Yeah, I really do. I think, when you can leave the special teams meeting with everybody, you got one or two things are going to happen. They're either going to go meet with your coach, which is Coach Fountain now, or you can say, hey, you go to the locker room, y'all go warm up, whatever, not get coaching. So, yeah, they're excited about it, I think, just to have that coach, And I'm excited. I've enjoyed just working with specialists, and I've been blessed. We had Daniel Carlson at Auburn with the Raiders now. Cody Parkey is with the Titans now, and then Josh Harris is with the Falcons now as a long snapper. And but I think a lot of that just has to do with being able to focus on that area.
Defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, when they get asked, it's like, well, what's your philosophy? What's your style?
Right.
When someone asks that to a special teams coach, is there an answer to that question?
I think so. I think for me, I want to play fast and physical. Really do, and want to be an aggressive style of special teams. So we want to be able to, when you get into the special teams world, you talk about offense and defense. Well, offense want to be multiple, right? A lot of times defense want to be multiple on special teams, not to be multiple in your coverage units.
And I like chicken and waffles. What's a good place I can get some chicken and waffles? I know. KDK's Chicken in 989 South Razorback Road. Get on down there and see Keith and Kathy. Get a plate of that love. And like they say on their building, it's not your mama's. The best chicken and waffles in the South. They even got chicken wings, and they got these things called loaded fries. I think you might want to get on down there. Meet me down there or see me down there. KDK's Chicken at 989 Razorback Road. Welcome back to our Thursday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479, and we'll continue on with our Hall Guy segment because we tell you they don't stop watching and neither do we. So we make our way down where, Coach Pittman continues to talk about making an impact with that Arkansas brand, and in particular that 2022 class, and I'm talking about did he make an impression on one big fella in the boot state, in the top offensive tackle in the 22 class, out of Monroe, Louisiana, Will Campbell. WC, welcome to OTH.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about your recruiting, Will. Arkansas came in with an offer not too long ago. Coach Pittman and Coach Brad Davis are pretty much the head leads in your recruiting process. Talk about how that relationship is starting to build toward you and the University of Arkansas.
The relationship is good. I mean, I could tell by the first time I talked to Coach Davis that he'd be a guy I could see myself playing for, just the way he is and how he talks with the kids and stuff. And Coach Pittman's a great guy. They both know what they're doing with the offensive line. And, I mean, as you can see in this year's draft, I mean, it shows. I mean, 2 first-round picks out of Georgia for Coach Pittman, and now he's back at Arkansas, and I'm sure he's going to make that happen eventually again.
Watching film of you, Will, having Coach Pittman now be the head coach, having come from Georgia, being what I consider the nation's best offensive line coach, with the emphasis that is placed in the SEC on the lines of scrimmage, how big is that for a program like Arkansas to have a former offensive line coach kind of be familiar with your position?
I mean, it's good. I mean, like you said, in the SEC, I mean, you're going against the best week in and week out. So to get a good offensive line in there, you have to have guys who, are experienced to know what they're doing. And Coach Pittman knows what he's doing. Like I said, I mean, you can go back, look, and see who all he's coached, and it'll show you. I mean, but going against the best, you can't have, just the average people. You got to go and get the best, and that's what happens in the SEC and with their good coaching.
Being considered the number 2 overall player in the state, obviously you have a numerous array of options, so to speak. Do you talk about the in-state pressure there to go to that big-time school? They just won the national championship. Will, how has that been going with is it locally or is it just kids, your teammates? How do you handle that type of stress?
I mean, really, I don't really talk about much of it outside of my family and stuff. So we always keep stuff to ourselves. And I love LSU. They got great coaches, but I'm just really looking for, whatever I feel like's best and the best fit for me.
When you sat down with your offensive line coach, your offensive coaches, and your head coach and looked at that sophomore film, big fella, what were some of the things that you felt good about heading into your junior year? And what were the notes that you made to get ready to maybe work on and make them even better for your junior season?
I mean, I'm just improving on everything overall. I had a pretty good sophomore season, but I mean, you can always improve, and I want to excel in every area of my game.
The COVID pandemic comes out, you guys aren't able to take part in spring ball. What have you been able to do, Will, in this downtime to maintain strength and conditioning so that when it is time to report back for football season, you're in some type of playing shape?
Well, I've been lifting weights every day, running also, and our coaches have been staying in contact with me and my teammates through Zoom meetings, and we've been having meetings about plays and position groups and that type of stuff so that when we do get back, we're going to be ready to roll.
Now, when I come to Neville High School, man, I'm watching film, for those that are viewing and being able to watch Big Will during our broadcast. What type of football player do I get to see at Neville High School for 4 quarters when that ball's kicked off in Will Campbell?
A guy who shows no mercy to his teammates, to his opponents. He can move good for his size, and he's got good feet, great pass blocker, and he's going to move you off the ball in the run game too.
Well, who are some of the collegiate or NFL offensive tackles that you like to pay attention to, my man, and maybe watch what they do either on Saturday or Sunday and go out and perform it on the weekend?
I'd say Tyron Smith, Andrew Whitworth, and Panay Sewell.
Man, you can't go wrong with those three. Well, I know before the pandemic came out, did you have any unofficial visits or junior days that you had planned on attending? And if so, what were some of those schools, if you care to mention, just off the top of your head, 2 or 3 of them?
Yes, sir. I went to Baylor for a junior day. I went to LSU for one. And then I was supposed to go to Alabama one weekend, but the weekend that I was supposed to go, all the COVID stuff happened.
Now we're talking one everybody know. We're talking Big Will Campbell out of Monroe, Louisiana, Neville High School. I want to talk about that particular high school and that program and the culture. Will, what is it about the Neville culture that when you do make your college choice 2 years from now, you'll be able to carry to that particular Power 5 school and always have that to lean on?
I know that I will be coming from one of the best programs there is in the state and some of the best coaches there is for high school football and the tradition and stuff, and I know that they'll always have my back no matter where I choose to go play.
Best high school football, Will Campbell, where's that played at?
Louisiana.
You got to state your case.
I mean, I'd say I think Louisiana because, we're the meanest. We got the most athletes. We might not have as many players as some of these bigger states do, but I'll put us up against anybody.
Well, hey, my man, time to have a little fun with you. I hope you got it ready. But the list that you gave me yesterday was pretty fire. We riding around Monroe, me and Big Will Campbell at Club WC. I need to know the first 5 songs in the playlist, big fella, that I get to listen to.
We're going to listen to some Young Boy, some Lil Baby, some Gunna, some Jada Youngin. We're going to listen to it all, whatever you like.
I'm feeling you, WC. Hey, thanks for taking time out, but I'm going to make this statement, and if you would, please finish it for me.
Yes, sir.
When football is done with, you play collegiately, I'm pretty sure you'll have the opportunity from watch your film if you stay on course, have the opportunity to play professionally. But when that's all said and done, you've hung it up. What does Will Campbell plan to be doing with life after football?
You know, like you said, if I can fulfill my dream of going to the NFL and playing for years, and I'd love to, just whenever I retire, coach high school or something like that, just like something like that. But if that doesn't work out and I have to get a job coming out of college, probably like maybe a physical therapist or a chiropractor or something like that.
I can see that, big fella. Well, hey, Will, let's not make this our last conversation, and let's keep the lines of communication open. This show is your show, and our line is your line. And how about, when the season gets started, maybe we get you on once or twice a month just to give us a big Will Campbell update.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right, Will. Hey, you have a blessed day, my man. Good luck on your junior season, and thanks for taking time out here on the Hill.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was big-time 2022 offensive tackle prospect out of Monroe, Louisiana, Neville High School. Big Will Campbell, the five-star. I'm calling him five-star because the kid's rated third in the country in that class, tops in his state as the offensive line prospect at 6'6", about 290, and it's going to get bigger, Demetrius. Just another big-time physical offensive lineman in a long list of top recruits that Coach Pittman and Davis are really starting to pique their interest.
Yeah, the offensive line, defensive line is important. I think that's really what's going to determine how fast Arkansas gets to a winning record and a winning culture.
Right.
I think when you talk about the first line of defensive and offense, it's important.
And you have to have these type of athletes. I mean, we talk about it all the time, and for those that have been consistent listeners throughout the years on our show, it's been a situation where Arkansas just didn't have the Jimmies and the Joes. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, there were in particular positions more often than not on the offensive line.
Absolutely.
Where when you got inside the 20, the opposing defensive lines pretty much won those battles, and as a result, how many times, Demetrius, were we at an A&M game or here in Razorback Stadium where they didn't get it done, and it was always a big-time momentum shift?
And we don't even have to just correlate to Chad. We can even just go back to the ending of Brett Bielema's era. That was one of their issues. They just couldn't get those red goal line scores that really would have separated those guys, especially in like the games where we're neck and neck with A&M.
Right.
We just really couldn't punch the ball in.
Right. Well, hey, we're getting ready to bring on a guest in our next Hall Guys segment that he punches the ball in, and he does it at a very high rate. He's a two-sport athlete, but the Hogs are looking at him as a wide receiver prospect, and he's all the way in Orlando, Florida. So we got to get down there to Edgewater High School where we're going to talk about a guy got Arkansas in his top 6, Tommi Hill Jr. He's up next. It's on the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a moment.
I see you fade to that left.
I'm really excited about this class to be here on the end of the last staff and kind of see what the class kind of grew to with the new staff is exciting. I think we added some really good players. I think we addressed some needs, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And then obviously with the quarterbacks we were able to get in here, being a receiver guy, that excites me. And really excited about Darren, the kid that we thought we were going to get towards the end, and ended up getting him in here mid-year. So I'm glad he's here. He's only 17. He doesn't turn 18 until March, so he's a lot like Trey Knox was last year. He's already been through a month of college at 17 years old. So really excited about this class. We're excited about the pieces that we put together, and excited for a whole year with this staff and the way we recruit to get a year for this next class. The ones that were committed. Oh yeah. I think there was a lot of, especially the last about 4 weeks of the season, there was so much indecision. There was so much uncertainty, I think those guys were really excited when I got kept, and I think when Coach Braz got hired, it just, for receivers, it kind of excited everybody. Excited me as a coach for a chance to learn this offense and be in the system. And you spent the last 2 years telling these kids you love them and you care about them, and to have to to be able to stay instead of having to leave was a blessing for me, and it was a blessing for them. They don't have to get to know their position coach. I mean, they're getting to know 9 other full-time guys and Coach Pittman, but the familiarity with me and knowing what they're going to get in there with me every day, because they spend more time with me than anybody else. So I think that gives them a level of comfort.
Welcome back to our Thursday edition of here on KDSJ 479, and we're going to continue on with our Hall Guy segment. But before we get on to our featured guest, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. And with that being said, Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, and office also too in Rogers. That's Locomotion, located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and the one we talk about, KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. Go down and get a plate of that love with Keith and Kathy. Meet me there or beat me there. That's down at 989 South Razorback Road, KDK's Chicken. But on to our featured guest. He came out with his top 6 just a little over 48 hours, 2 or 3 days ago. And Arkansas was on it. But I'm telling you, the key was he came out about a few weeks prior, and the Hogs were nowhere to be seen. So we thought we'd bring Tommi Hill Jr. on of Orlando, Florida, Edgewater High School, the 4-star wide receiver, and just have him talk about the Hogs and just how he came up with his top 6. So here he is. Welcome to OTH, Tommi.
Thanks for having me. I like Arkansas a lot. Coach Pittman and Coach Belt. The whole coaching staff, really. They show a lot of love. Each and every one of my top 6. A lot of coaches show love. I like their facilities, all that.
I want to talk to you even more because when we talked several days ago, Tommi, you said you had previous relationship with, and talking to Coach Stepp from Arkansas, but also to Scott Fountain and Coach Pittman when they were at Georgia. How much of a factor to this point with the aggressive recruiting style and that Arkansas's shown you was the difference in them making up so much of the ground before they entered your top 6?
They came at me aggressive. They really want me. I've been talking to some of the coaches at Georgia when they was there. They came to Arkansas. They still was texting me, so that's why I was really liking them.
What will you be looking for, T Jr. in your school? I know when you get to that point, either November or December or in February. But what's the one thing that you're going to be looking for, Tommi, that's going to put one school all over the others in your final 6?
Just the family, like the chemistry they got with the players, chemistry they got with just around the campus, just having chemistry with everybody around the campus. I'm just looking for a lot of teams with leadership, because I want to. I have to depend on some people at some point on the field and off the field, so I want to have family members like that would be a big like a stage that would lead them up top.
Now, when who are some NFL or collegiate receivers that you like to keep a close eye on that play that wide receiver position? Maybe study either Saturday or Sunday what they do, and then you go out and perform some of those things that you see on Friday nights.
I always watch Odell since I was little. Debo Samuel, I always watch him at the 49ers. Thomas, 13, at the Saints. At the DB position, I watch Ohio State, who just went into the draft. I watch Jalen Ramsey. Just the top people. Just try to feed off their energy and how they play.
Now, a lot of people may not realize from watching our film as you're being recruited as a wide receiver, but you're a two-way player. I mean, are there a lot of schools in that top 6 recruiting you as a two-way player, or are most schools just recruiting you solely to play offensive football?
It's half half. Most of them bring me in as an athlete, so yeah.
I can see that. Now, if I'm at Edgewater High School, Tommi Hill Jr., and I got my popcorn and I done went and got my Sprite 20 ounce, my man, and I'm at the highest bleacher that I can get, when the ball is kicked off for 4 quarters, tell me what my scouting report will say about Tommi Hill Jr. When I leave that stadium.
When you think about Tommy, he explosive. He has energy. He's a leader on the field, and off the field. He's just a competitor. He don't take no days off. He tries to go for the grand prize until he gets it.
Tommy, do you plan on signing in the December period, or is it one of those situations you're going to wait till February, that first Wednesday in February, and make your decision?
It depends if I take the visit. So if I don't take all of them in December, I might just wait.
Now, I want everybody to know we're talking with Tommi Hill Jr. of Orlando, Florida. He's at Edgewater High School. Tell me, what is it about the culture there at Edgewater in Orlando, Florida, that, Tommy, you'll be able to take with you to the next level, and always lean on that in college?
Coach Duke always teaches all the players leadership, so that's the main goal of leadership. Play with the family on the field. Always depend on your brothers, so I'll take that to the next level.
Now let's have a little fun, my man. I hope you got it ready, because we riding around Orlando. Just you and the OG, Mr. Pat. We heading to the club. I need the first 5 songs that I get to listen to in Club Tommy when we get to vibing. What's the first 5 songs we playing?
Oh, I got Ride Wave, the greatest. That's one of them. I got little Baby, Emotional, Scared. I got No Cap, What Is Love, Hot Boy, They Don't Know, and Jack Boy, Clean.
I like that. Now that's also, I'm gonna ask you a question. 4th quarter, ball on the 5, need a touchdown to win. What's the play we calling for Edgewater offensively, Tommy? What play is it?
If we're on the 5-yard line with a second left, if our running back have a good game, he always have a good game. But if we depend on him, we're gonna let him run it in, or we're gonna have my quarterback roll out, hit the fullback for the flat.
I like that. Good play. See, and I like that about, because this is my producer. Tommy didn't even say he deferred him, because he gets so much attention offensively. Sometimes you got to be the decoy, right? Is that how we're doing it? Well, hey, my man, I want to thank you for taking time out. I'll make a statement, and if you would, Tommi Hill Jr., please finish it for me. When football is done with for Tommi Hill Jr. of Orlando, Florida, Edgewater High School, he's played collegiately. Had a chance to move on if he's blessed to play in the NFL, hung it all up. What will Tommi Hill Jr. be doing with life after football?
Tommy, he was trying to get his degree in communication, sports, with the ESPN or something like that, talk about sports. So, because I like talking about sports. So.
I know.
If football didn't work out, so yeah, I might get into talking with sports and talking with players.
Well, hey, man, I tell you what, you can call this line or you can call me off the air. We can talk sports all day, but let's continue this relationship on our show. And throughout your senior year, Tommy, can we get some Tommi Hill Jr. updates?
It's gonna be a big show. Let's say that. I had 10 touchdowns last year, so I'm heading for 20. Trying to get over 1,000.
Well, we'll get you on. We'll have you on at least once or twice a month to get updates with you. How about that?
I got you.
All right, my man. Hey, thanks for taking time out. Good luck on your senior year, T. And maybe if it's Arkansas you pick, maybe we can do that on the show as well. Can we just throw that out there just for just a possibility?
Yeah, I got you if I pick them.
All right. Well, hey, you have a blessed one, and we'll talk to you here in the coming weeks.
Yes, sir.
All right, Tommy. Tommi Hill Jr. of Orlando, Florida, Edgewater, the 2021 four-star wide receiver. I'm talking about playmaker, Demetrius. When he said he was an athlete, I'm telling you.
Definitely can do it all. You know, he's not scared to block. Can catch the ball and make a play with the ball in his hands. Runs good routes. I think it's a guy that definitely like a coach like Justin Steph can really take and mold and really turn into an NFL caliber player.
Just continues on. I mean, Justin Stepp at the position that he's coaching and his ability to go out and recruit, not only the state but in the South and on the national. I mean, he's a young, hungry, and up-and-coming coach, and I'm telling you, he's going to get some of the elite. The way he pulled off that group with Burks and Knox, Nash, unfortunately, TQ Jackson moved on to play at SMU after transferring, but you signed Darian Turner. You continue to, and you have Coylin Jackson, there's Mike Woods. These kids are being coached by a guy that can coach the position, and the development is unquestioned. You see these kids' maturation. I'm real curious to watch and real excited to watch Knox and Burks, how they jump from freshman to sophomore year. But we're going to get on with another young man that Arkansas would love to have him call home as well. We're going to get back down in Louisiana. This time we'll be in Lafayette, Louisiana at St. Thomas More High School, where we're going to talk to the state's best and one of the top 5 junior quarterbacks in the country, 2022 quarterback Walker Howard. He's up next. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479.
It's different, but it's good. I think change was needed for the kids. I think change was needed for the staff, and I'm blessed to be able to make new relationships with the guys. I mean, even our offensive staff, we hadn't been together very long, but I'm excited to learn this new system and to be around Coach Browse and Coach Cooper and guys that have been in this offense for a long time. So, it's a little different. You walk down the hallways and there's guys having conversations, and you just kind of figure out, well, am I supposed to be in that conversation or do I walk by? I've always been the guy that's everybody's having those conversations with. So it's something different, but the guys have been awesome. They've been great. Coach Pittman's been great, and I haven't been treated like a leftover guy. I've been treated like one of Coach Pitt guys, and that's what he told me. He said, "Hey man, I hired you. You're my guy." So he makes it really comfortable. Well, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I just learned the first formation today. I learned a lot in the 2 hours we were in there. We haven't had much time, as you can imagine. We've been on the road. It's like we got back from Christmas and kind of figured out, okay, hey, these are our targets. These are the guys we want to go get.
Welcome back to our Thursday edition here on the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk on KDSJ 479. We come to you each and every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. And our next guest is one that a lot of coaches around the country would love to have this young man throw the football for their particular university. And Arkansas is no different. Sam Pittman said it, and they're really trying to execute it. So let's get back down to Lafayette, Louisiana, because they have the state's top junior quarterback, and he's one of the top 5 in the country in the junior class. With that being said, Walker Howard of Lafayette, Louisiana, St. Thomas More. Walker, welcome to
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Let's get off into it, my man. Arkansas offered you quite early once Sam Pittman took the job here, I believe, when he named Kendall Briles the head football coach or the head offensive coordinator. You were one of the top priorities. Talk about that relationship, because I know before we came on air, you had said you spoke with Coach Briles yesterday. Talk about how that relationship is starting to build between you and the University of Arkansas.
So Coach Briles got straight to the point. They're a new coaching staff. Arkansas has been kind of struggling lately in the SEC, and they went straight to the point, knowing what they have to do and what they need to do to win. And they got a great coaching staff on there now, and they really feels like they know what they really sound like they know what they're doing. And They say that they want players like me to change the program, and they say straight up, I feel like I'm wanted there, and it's really awesome. And yes, sir.
Walker, talk about your development at quarterback, because you have a very unique situation. A lot of Power 5 offers, but you were in a situation where you had to really be an understudy to an upperclassman for the last 2 years. How were you able to handle that? And going forward, what can you take from that in your next 2 years of being the starting quarterback?
The last 2 years, it's been rough not being able to play, but watching an older player like Caleb Holstein, what a great guy and great football player. He taught me a lot about the mental part of the game. So there's some things. It's just you just take the easy things. Take the easy things. Take what they give you. And he did a really great job explaining that to me, and did a great job this year. The last 3 years at STM. I mean, what a great quarterback, and I look up to him for sure.
Now, when you talk about being in the state of Louisiana, let's just be honest. Your name is real synonymous with the University of LSU. I know we spoke earlier, and talk about that pressure, and how will that situation go? Do you feel a lot of pull to go to LSU, Walker? I know you have 2 more years of high school football, but how will you? I mean, how have you been able to handle it, and going forward, how do you see that playing out?
LSU's always, my dad played there, it's got a special place in my heart for sure. But, all my friends and family would love for me to go to LSU. But, I got together with my friend Will Campbell and we started visiting schools and realized like there's other places out there, like you always have to give a chance. There's other places and you have to give them a chance and, I'm open to anything,
What were some of the other schools showing you what they call in the Twitter world, love and recruiting you the hardest, outside of Arkansas?
I kind of just try to stay away from all the hype and stuff. I'm just ready to play ball. I'm a young kid. I don't really want to get caught up in all the hype stuff. I'm just trying to look for a place that fits me the best. Great relationships and a great like a home for the next 4 or 5 years.
When you sat down after your sophomore season and you watched the tape of your sophomore year with your offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, Walker, what were some of the things that you felt really excited about going into your junior year, and what were those notes that you made to yourself saying, I got to get this better in the off season?
So I really, I've always been able to throw the ball pretty well, and sitting the last 2 years, I really during my sophomore season, I really watched a lot about the middle part of the game and watched it from the sideline, and it helped me a lot because it's going to make me it's so much better player going into my junior year, because a quarterback is only as good as what around him and how he does. Ability is only going to take him so far,
right?
And a lot of people get caught up, but the middle part of the game is what you really need to learn, because that's what all the great quarterbacks do.
Who are some of the collegiate or NFL quarterbacks that you like to model your game after?
I really like to model my game after Patrick Mahomes and Jake Delhomme. Jake Delhomme, he came from Lafayette, Louisiana. He's a Louisiana legend, and I really love him, and he helps me out so much with all. He's a good person to talk to. I throw with him all the time, and it helps me a lot. And Patrick Mahomes, dude's a dog on the field, and so much fun how he extends plays like that.
Talking with Walker Howard out of Lafayette, Louisiana, St. Thomas More High School. By the way, Demetrius, Lafayette, Louisiana, I'll have to make a quick note, is the home of where I had my very first pork chop fried at the gas station on my way to New Orleans. And Walker, I'm telling you, it's the place to go. I may come down there just to go get another fried pork chop. But
Absolutely.
I'm at St. Thomas More, my man. I got my popcorn and my Sprite. I'm at the highest seat I can get to. For 4 quarters, when that ball is kicked off, what type of player will I see in Walker Howard?
One that will never give up, the one that's going to finish through the line always. My coaching staff, we got a great coaching staff. Coach David LeBlanc, our strength and conditioning coach, he makes sure that we finish through the line, and that's what makes us so great, that we push and that we don't finish till the game is over.
The fun part's coming up now, and I hope you got that list ready, because here we go. You and I riding around Lafayette. I'm the OG in the car. First 5 songs on the playlist, Walker. Give them to me.
Okay, so first we're going to go listen to Rockstar, right? Get it rolling. And then, listen to No Role Models from J. Cole. I love that song with me and my friends. We always mess around with that.
Okay.
And, all right. Then we got, let me think. Dude, I can listen to anything.
Hey, throw them on out there. You got everybody on the corner ready to get back on the dance floor. What you got? 3
Ooh, the song "Ooh" is pretty good. I love that one. And Shoot, I can't think of any other ones. Wait, gotta give me a minute. You gotta give me a minute.
Hey, I tell you what, if you think of two more throughout the week next week, you just call up and say, I got my other two, and here they are.
Hey, I will do that. I will do that for sure. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Well, finish this last statement for me, Walker. And once again, I want to thank you for taking time out here on OTH. But when football is finally done with, you played collegiately. If you hopefully can fulfill your dream and play at the NFL level when that's done, what will Walker Howard be doing with life after football?
You know, a lot of people ask this question, but you know, football is going to bring you so far, like you said, and you really got to use the network after college with all the people you meet from college, using the college brand name and all that stuff. And I'm open up to anything, but everything. But right now, I think I would really enjoy the utility business later in life. Salesman. I love talking to people.
I like that, man. Hey, I had an enjoyable time talking to you, man. I could talk to you for hours, and hopefully we get to continue this on because this can't be the last time. Our show is your show. Our line is your line. So throughout the football season, Walker, can we get you on and just do some Walker Howard updates throughout the season?
Absolutely, that sounds good.
All right, my man. Hey, have a blessed day. Good luck on a great junior year. Congratulations for all your offers, as you're going to get many more, and thanks for taking time out today with us.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you.
All right, bud.
All right.
That was Walker Howard, the 2022 five-star quarterback, one of the tops in the country out of Lafayette, Louisiana, St. Thomas More High School. Really is impressed with Kendall Briles and what Arkansas is really talking about offensively, Demetrius. What did you see from the young man?
Just a guy that can really come in and do what he said Coach Pippen wanted. He can really come in and change the program. Mentally, he's kind of focused. You really don't find a lot of younger kids with that type of mindset and speaks the way he speaks and the type of thought process. There's not a lot of kids that can deal with sitting behind somebody and coming behind playing them and, knowing how to adjust and adapt. But this kid sounds like he has his head around, has a good supporting cast around him, and I think he's going to make the best decision to put himself in a position to win. Which goes to show when you look at, all these young men that this staff under Coach Pittman, they're recruiting. I mean, a lot of these kids, even in the 22 class, I mean, was I at age 17 thinking about what I wanted to do with life after football 7 years down the road? Maybe not, but in the generation that these kids have, they have so much information in front of them and technology. It has enhanced the education of these kids. So they have more of a plan, and when you have a plan, that's a really good thing to recruit to because it shows character and the ability to be self-motivated to do the things on and off the field that you have to do to be successful. And then you look at the offers these kids have. I find it interesting. If you listen to a lot of these 22 kids, they have relationships with guys in the NFL, or they have relationships with guys that are highly rated collegiate players that they're around. And back in the day, you really didn't have that. You didn't really have that type of relationship where it was a lot of NFL guys trying to give back. But now you have a lot of these younger guys in the NFL that aren't too far removed from college and aren't too far removed from even high school when you think about it. Maybe, this year, rookie year, this 4 years, it's a lot of juniors. Everybody's trying to come out their junior year. So you have such a turnaround, and these guys are getting so much information and things back in the day that we didn't have access to. These guys are telling them, hey, football's not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
It's everything after football. And I think now that you have that, that's why guys are being bigger, stronger, faster as well. You're taking all these training ideas that guys wouldn't be exposed to the college, and now you're learning it on a high school level. So these guys are so advanced. And you said it. I mean, giving back, and these former players, like I said, when they come back and train kids, because I mean, back in my day, we didn't have a lot of that, and that's not anything, to the older generation before us, but it's just maturation and growth. As we go through life, and that's what we're seeing. A lot more trainers, kids. When I'm on here, we're always talking about they're either they're coming from a training session, do a segment with us, or leaving a segment with us to go do some more training, either basketball, football, whatnot, and that's going to help going forward. But we want to give a shout out. It's been a great show. Want
I want to give a thank you to all of our guests that made this possible of our Hall Guys segment. We'll continue on with that as they don't stop watching, and neither will we. I want to give a thank you to Will Campbell, 4-star offensive tackle, the state's top offensive tackle in the junior class, 3rd nationally across the country out of Monroe Neville High School in Louisiana. I want to thank him for coming on and giving us his take on the University of Arkansas. Also to Tommi Hill Jr., 4-star 2021 wide receiver prospect, came out with his top 6. Arkansas made that. He's out of Edgewater High School there in Orlando, Florida. I really feel like Arkansas is really going to be in on this one all the way to the end. I'm going to watch this one real closely, as just from where they were as to where they are now, you can only expect them to even move a little bit forward. So we'll keep an eye on that one down in Orlando, Florida. And lastly, the quarterback that I really feel has a lot of confidence, Demetrius, and you could just sense it through our segment. Will Walker Howard of Lafayette, St. Thomas More down in Louisiana, the boot prospect, the quarterback whom everybody's after. He's got a dad and went to LSU, but I think this one's going to be highly, highly interesting, to say the least. Don't know where he's going to go, but he's got a lot of options, and I do think, Arkansas will also be around when that comes. He and Will Campbell want to play together. So you got 2 big-time prospects wanting to go to the same. If those 2 were boot hogs, man, in that 22 class. Still feel really excited about what the possibilities could be from what we've seen as the kids coming on. Arkansas could really make a lot of headway, we should say, Demetrius. But we want to give a shout-out.
Before you shout out a lot of these boot hogs, man, it's going to be interesting for that battle of the boot coming up in the couple
Hey, and I will say this. All beats that you hear on the show are produced by Sauced Up Radio. Go to their Sauced Up Entertainment channel. The guys got a lot of cooking going on, a lot of good beats. But you want to know, every beat you hear that you hear on here is produced by Sauced Up Radio and Sauced Up Entertainment. Just had to throw that out there. For you kids that like beats, go check them out. I'm telling you. Also, too, we want to give a shout-out before we get out of here to our sponsors. That being said, Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also, too, in Rogers. Locomotion, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall. Corey Beck's Custom Paint and KDK's Chicken down at 989 Razorback Road. Go see Keith and Kathy. Get some of that love like it's on the building. It's not your mama's. We added this. It's the best chicken and waffles in the South. Meet us there or beat us there. KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. For my producer, Demetrius Johnson, and myself, thank you guys for the continued support, the viewership, the listenership. We'll keep bringing it to you, because if they don't stop, we're not either. Until tomorrow, it's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, and it's the Hall Guy segment on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one, and let's get it.